everybody wants a place to be their authentic self, but you can't be that. Authenticity is not there, and it will not happen unless you provide the attachment first.
As we get older, people literally give up their true authentic self because they didn't get the attachment they needed. So they give up who they are to fit into the mold of who they think you need in order to receive that attachment.
Even when we don't have words for this, here's what this proves: that humans will do anything to receive attachment.
Yeah.
So another thing is, when a child doesn't receive proper attachment, especially from a mother, then they try to fill the need with something else. So this is when you hear about, whether it's drug addiction, alcoholism, pornography, and it doesn't have to be those extreme stuff. It can be overeating.
TikTok.
It could be screen time, social media, basically anything that we're trying to do. What we're doing is, any type of addiction we have, essentially what's happening is we're trying to fulfill a need that maybe we didn't get before.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, what it's called is endorphins, essentially. So endorphins are the body's internal opiate chemicals. So heroin and opiates resemble and mimic those same endorphins. So what happens is, when you get hooked up on some type of addiction, again, whether it's porn, it could be sports, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be the extremist of like substance abuse or something like that. But essentially what's happening is, you're not just getting your dopamine hit, it's also fulfilling the same need of the endorphin.
Yeah, it's a way to disassociate from your reality.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what happens is, when you are feeding into that vice, whatever it is that you have, it feels like you're getting a warm hug. Which is why addictions is typically a sign of something that they didn't get earlier. And so if we didn't get healthy, proper attachment from mom and dad growing up, we're going to look for it through someone else
or something else.
Through something else.
Yeah.
Correct. So it's not a matter of we all need attachment.
Yeah.
It's, are we getting attachment from the right things?
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I can think of literally people who have substance abuse issues, and it all literally goes back to their childhood. They did not have a parent that was there for them. Like they were left alone to take care of themselves. They had to, parent their parent. So man, that makes sense.
Yeah. So in humans, when there is stress and trauma in childhood, your endorphin systems don't develop. And so when someone ends up doing heroin or opiates or other drugs that impact the endorphin system in their body, as I said earlier, that's why it feels like a warm hug. It feels like you're being embraced by someone. What they are feeling is love and connection for the first time, which is why it's so powerful and addictive. That's why people stay in cyclical cycles of unhealthy vices. Human babies are the most vulnerable of any species on the planet when they don't receive the attachment that they need. Here's another thing. Attachment is not a negotiable need.
Wow.
Isn't that powerful?
Man, Dom was like, what if everyone actually got that?
Right.
So like, you look at, I can only like really speak for like the Asian culture or whatever, like it's very hard to find families that will give you that attachment. It's very much like you just kind of figure it out. Like, I understand making people independent and, teaching them those things, but I think there's this fine line. I wish parents would just understand, like, I would rather have a nicely attached child who would make for a better human than an unattached child who has to work through all this drama while trying to be an adult, Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. I just like, it's kind of like.
So let's kind of get a little practical now with that. So because I know someone that might be watching, listening, like, okay, how can I apply this then right now? Like, why does this matter to me? Like, who cares? Right? That's probably what people are asking.
Yeah.
So let's think about this, whether it's in your marriage, parent to a child, friends, co-workers, whatever it is. When someone comes up and brings a problem to you, or they bring a pain point, or it's frustration, and the frustration might have to do with you might be the person they're frustrated with, or it might be something that took place, whether it's an event, whatever it is, and they're frustrated, but they want to share it with you. How many times when people share a frustrating moment or a pain point or a disappointment, and what we try to do as a human being, we try to back it up with facts to disregard what they're saying, or well-intended, we try to give advice to help them pull them out of the slump, right? So if I can give maybe a better illustration, imagine someone has tripped and fell, and so they're on the floor. Our initial instinct is we want to give them a helping hand, which is great. We want to pull them up. Sometimes in the reality of life, though, sometimes pain hurts so much that they don't need to be pulled up. Sometimes, what if we just came alongside with them, saw that they're hurting, and we sat down with them and waited until they flustered out their emotion and they get back up on their own? Because when we do that, we're giving them attachment. So when someone is even if someone's wrong, like, here's the thing about emotions, right? Emotions absolutely matter, but we also recognize emotions aren't logical. But the problem is, lots of times in disagreements, arguments, or again, maybe it's just a pain point. For example, someone's parent died, right? And we go, well, they're in a better place. What's happening is we're trying to provide advice or something because we're uncomfortable with the discomfort right now.
Yeah.
Of whatever their pain point is, their emotional point is. Or going back to the disagreement example between a couple or siblings or friends, whatever it is, we are trying to over practicalize the emotion in the moment, right? Because we don't want to deal with the discomfort of the pain point.
Yeah.
Instead of okaying the emotion, letting them sit with it, letting them work through whatever it is that they're feeling. And once we give them the space to do that, then it's okay, they're going to get up on their own. Here's what you're doing though. Anytime you're just affirming the pain, I didn't say agree with it. Affirming and agreeing are two total different things. You can still very much so affirm someone's pain, affirm someone's emotions, even though you disagree with it, and just sit with them in it. Because here's what you're doing. Every single time you sit with somebody, you're providing attachment. You're basically, here's another way of saying it. Anytime you're able to let someone's pain just stand as is, you are providing them a place to be connected and to be seen. What human being on the planet doesn't want that?
Right.
Every single person wants to belong.
Right.
Every single person wants to be valued. The quickest way to value somebody is to provide that attachment, which is, I see you. What else?
Do you think it's ever, and you may not know the answer to this because this is something we're still working through. Do you think it's ever too late to provide attachment? Like, if there's a parent that's listening, it's just like, well, I realized that, I did not provide the attachment that my child needed when they were a baby. Now they are teenagers, let's just say. Like, they're not even grown, they're teenagers. And we do have that separation in our relationship. Do you think it's ever too late for a parent to provide attachment?
I'm not going to say it's never too late, and I'm not going to talk as a parent because I'm not a parent, but I'm just going to talk from a human being to another. The moment I realized that I failed to provide attachment to someone, for example, to you as your husband or to someone else as a friend, I've just learned to own it. I went back literally to someone and said, hey, you shared something with me last week, and I was quick to go into problem solving and not let you sit with it, and I apologize. And you can just see, like, wow, like they were appreciative of that. So I said that to say, if that mattered just from a friend, peer-to-peer or coworker, I can only imagine how that feels from a parent to a child.
Yeah, and you can't imagine, you can't expect a overnight turnaround. Like, oh, thanks, mom and dad. It might be something like, can I really step into this space with you as a parent? So you would have to give them space to just realize hey, you're in it for the long haul.
So here's the bigger reason why all this matters. The only way we can grow through hard things in life, through pain points, is if we live in a world and if we have people in our world or in our life that are going to provide safety, that's going to provide a spot where I feel like I'm being seen. So this is why in Alcoholics Anonymous and all that, when they're going around the room and they say their name, hi, I'm John, and everyone says, hi, John. By saying that, you're attaching. Just by
You're
them
being
here-
recognized.
There
Yeah.
you go. Exactly. Can we be a people and our family as spouses, as brothers and sisters, as friends, as bosses, as peers, as coworkers? Can we be a people that recognizes people?
Yeah.
And here's the best part. It's actually the easier option.
Yeah.
It's actually easier for me to just be present instead of trying to find words to give advice to somebody or to press past a pain point, because I'm stumbling over my words trying to figure out what I'm going to say.
Right.
It's the gift of presence, and here's why this matters.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, and here's why this matters, you guys. Our matters might be different.
Everybody wants a place to be their authentic self, or a healthier way of saying that is everyone wants to be their best version of themselves in Christ. But you can't be that. Authenticity is not there, and it will not happen unless you provide the attachment first.
I was literally about to say the reason why this matters, the reason why we're having this conversation is because as we get older, people literally give up their true, authentic self because they didn't get the attachment they needed. So they give up who they are to fit into the mold of who they think you need in order to receive that attachment. So now you're spending the next 60, 70 years of your life being someone else, doing things you hate, dressing the way you hate, just like, it's so annoying.
Which actually tells us, so here's the crazy part. Even when we don't have words for this, here's what this proves. That humans will do anything to receive attachment.
Yeah.
So we will show up and bring a lesser version of ourselves just so we can feel connected with an individual.
Yeah.
Now think about that. So that just proves that the attachment is more important than the authenticity. Authenticity matters. It's a both and, but it's a matter of priority.
Right.
And so this is something I wrote down here. Sharing is not about the facts or accuracy. It's about the feelings. Only when feelings are validated can accuracy take place. Essentially what we're saying is the moment we recognize and affirm someone's pain, no matter how inaccurate it is, or their struggle or their challenge, that is when their authentic selves can rise to the surface.
Yeah.
Because every single person wants to know, like, are you going to take me as is? That's essentially what people want. Moving forward never happens unless you've processed your feelings first.
Yeah.
But how in the world are you going to process your feelings if you don't feel safe? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can check out some of our clips right here. If you want to see the entire video, you can check out the video right here, or you don't have to do any of that. And I'm just thankful that you decided to bless us with your time and that you dropped into the channel. Otherwise, take care. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.